In our previous tutorial, we created a Flutter demo application, and I said we will clean it up in this tutorial and create the backend Django project. So let's proceed with that. First off, you delete everything here, and then you import the material app, and you get your main app. Let's call it chat app. Okay. Then we say run app. We have an error in the test, so we change the class to our new class chat app, and then in place of the placeholder we say material app, and then we impute the home property, and we can use any widgets in there. Let's use a scaffold, which will give us a plain white background, and then we refresh by hitting R. So we need to reload our code by clicking Shift R. Now we have a plain white background. We can feed in anything we want in the scaffold. So what next are we going to do? We are going to create our Django backend code. So to do that, we'll open up a new terminal. And in that terminal, we'll create a directory called chat app B for chat app backend. Let's make dir. Alright, if you check here, the directory is created. So we head into it. And then in here, we'll create a virtual environment. A virtual environment helps us to keep our project plugins and every other tool we need for our project separate from the system packages. Now we'll install the virtual environment by typing pipe3 install virtual env. Once we've gotten all the virtual env files, we can now activate a virtual environment by saying virtual env, and we call it anything we want. In our case, we call it .env. So now we've created a virtual environment. If you check in here, we can see it as .env. So we can activate it by typing source.env of bin/activate. Now we've activated the virtual environment. So in the virtual environment, we'll create our Django project. First of all, we install Django by saying pipe install Django and wait for it to collect the files required. Once we have installed Django, we can now create a new project by typing Django admin create or start project. and we enter the name of our project. We call it chat app B, and we hit enter. Now when we open here, we can see our project, which is this, right? So we can test out if this has worked or if our server is working. But before that, we create an application in the Django project. So to do that, we head into our Django project by doing change directory and then chat B. And in here, we will say python manage.py. Then we create an app by saying start app. Now we have created our app. Let's close this. We can see our app here, chat app, the app, where we have our models, tests, and view files in it. So we'll test if our Django project is actually running or is actually installed. For us to test that, we type python manage.py run server. So let's see. So it says you have 18 unapplied migration. So we have not migrated our application. We'll do that later on. But then we are now running our local host on, we are now running our server on this local host directory or URL. We can check that out in our browser by holding command and enter. Voila, we have our Django app running, installed successfully and then running. We can create a super user who can see whatever we do in the application, and then who has control to delete or update any user data in the application. All right, we'll stop here today, and then in our next tutorial, we will set up the database and every other thing that we use in this tutorial for the back end of the application, and then we will import some applications that we need in the Python Django framework. Thank you very much for watching till this end. Don't fail to subscribe, like, and share this video to your friends. Thank you.